Yes, Lord. Here we go. Hold my banner. Travis Thomas here with the walking, talking, triple-double himself. Jokic is trying to take that name. I just want you to know. Okay. But for now, it's Ante Campbell. What it do, baby?
What's up, TTs? How you doing today, guy?
I'm doing good. We were at game one, and we have a lot to discuss there.
Yeah.
But it was good, and it was always good also to talk to the fans, which we'll get to later in this episode. We are at all the Celtics home games throughout this chase for Banner 19. So if you see these faces, mine made for radio, Ante's made for TV, up close and personal, come talk to us. We will interview you, and we'll get to that later. But let's start with game one sort of reactions here. As listen, the Knicks come in here. They take game one, not shocking to you nor I that the Knicks won a game. I was slightly shocked that they won game one.
Yeah.
I was slightly shocked at how they won game one. I mean, to blow a big lead the way the Celtics did was crazy. 108, 105 in overtime. You saw the tweet there. I mean, listen, I'm using slightly shocked across the board here. You and I both predicted the Knicks would get some games here. I think you predicted 6.
Yep.
I said Celtics in 5. You know, it could go 6. I have no problem with that. But game one feels like a statement. The way the Knicks won that game feels like a statement. Slight shock there. And again, to blow a big lead, slightly shocked from the Celtics on my end. Were you?
Yeah, of course I was slightly shocked. I mean, I didn't see game one being the game that the Knicks were going to take. I thought that this was going to be the game, especially with them going to a 6-game series versus the Celtics going to a 5-game series. They're played a little bit more tired and all that other stuff, and you saw it in the first half. But in the second half, that third quarter, they really just came alive, and they were up. The Celtics were up 20. And the Knicks started chugging away, and I was like, okay, Mazzulla's going to call a timeout.
Yeah.
He's going to start this run. They're going to start putting their head down a little bit more and get into the basket. And that moment just never came. I mean, Mazzulla called a timeout, but it was way too late. And so it was a little shocking, especially with how I wouldn't say the crowd was impressive, but they were loud. Every time something good happened, they were loud, and you could feel that energy. So I was expecting the Celtics to respond in a good way, especially with Tatum coming out in the first quarter and having 13 points, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought this was going to be, easy cakewalk. Celtics assert their dominance as we thought they were going to do, and that just did not happen for whatever reason.
Yeah, listen, here's another reason I'm using that word slightly surprised for me across the board, Ante, is because, I mean, it was a terrible shooting game for the Celtics.
Yes.
Particularly Jaylen Brown. I felt like I got nothing from Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
Porzingis, essentially, you got nothing from.
Yeah. I mean, that's how he's been all playoffs.
I know, but I'm just saying.
And he left with a stomach ache or whatever the sickness is that he has.
But I guess my point is Jaylen Brown, bad game. Porzingis, no show.
Right. And
you still, I mean, you're up big.
Yeah.
And you barely lose the game in overtime. I'm just not going to put a ton of stock into. I'm seeing, and this is what you get with the Knicks brand. So I understand why I'm seeing it, but I'm seeing so much like we got a series, Knicks being slept on. Like, can you pump the brakes a little bit in that you had all these things working for you, Knicks?
Yes.
Porzingis no-show, Brown bad shooting game all around. I know I'm picking on him, but and you still barely won the game. I'm not putting a lot of stock in that.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I was looking up early in the game, too. Derek White got a couple of good looks.
Yes.
And he was missing them, and I was like, that's a little peculiar.
Peculiar, right?
Out of him, you know what I'm saying? And then Tatum just, I don't know. He started off, like I said, red hot. I thought we were going to have a, Tatum masterclass, and then it quickly turned into a Tatum disaster class. In the fourth quarter and overtime, he was 1 for 9 from the field.
Yeah.
The one shot beating that he made within the 3-point arc. So I don't know why he was 0 for 5 from 3
I don't either.
You only made one shot and it was inside of the 3-point line. So it was kind of a surprising element of that, and I knew it. I mean, I said it a long time ago. Like, this was the Celtics' biggest flaw, right?
Yep.
Their biggest flaw is that they are going to live and die by that three.
Facts.
So no matter if they get up 20 or get down 20, they're going to live and die by that three. And sometimes they go down 20 and they shoot threes and they get right back into a game, right?
Right.
But this was one of those times, and I think it might have been a Heat game that they, closely lost in the regular season, or a Rockets. It might have been one of those red teams.
Couple
you know what I mean?
situations
where
here
they
or there.
were up big this game.
Yeah, we've seen that.
They kept shooting threes, kept trying to play fast and all this other stuff, and they couldn't make them, and it bit them in the arse, as you like to say.
Right.
And they lost the game, And so I'm not putting too much stock into it because
either.
I know that they're not going to continuously shoot, 25%?
That's not going to happen.
That's not them. That wasn't anything that the Knicks did. That was just them missing good open looks. It won't happen 4 games for the Knicks to go off and win.
I oftentimes lean on you as someone who played at such a high level for a player's perspective, so I'll do it here.
Okay.
Is there something in the rule book with this Celtics team that tells them they can only shoot threes? Because is it not common sense? Am I wrong? If your three isn't falling,
yes.
Going back to when I first learned to play basketball, attack the rim.
Yeah.
It should be an inside. I was taught inside out. Nowadays I get it starts from the outside, but if the shot's not falling, attack the rim. What am I missing here? Where's the disconnect? Why are we settling for jumpers? Why are we settling for threes? Why are we forcing threes? Why don't you attack the rim, get a couple easies, and then try the three again? Am I wrong?
I mean, you're right. The thing about it is, I think, like I said, early on, they were having a little bit of success with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so they were just like, okay, I missed a couple, I'm going to make the next one. I missed a couple, I'm going to make the next one, right? But that next one just never came. But it is an issue. I mean, they missed 45 threes.
Attack the rim.
Which is the most in NBA playoff history, Then they also shot 63s and only shot 37 shots inside of the arc.
Bro.
That's insane.
That's insane, bro.
And you do all of that, like you said, and lose by 3.
Right. That's
there.
what I mean.
Lose by 3 in overtime, of all things.
Of all things.
Of all things. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So they still scored 100 points in a game, shooting 25% from 3 and 35% from the field. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about it, but this is the Joe Mazzulla way, and it is. It's like that. It's a flip of a coin for them. It could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. And last night, it ended up just being a bad thing.
Well, Jaylen Brown had a horrible game. He had 23 points. But the thing is, Ante, he said after the game exactly what we're talking about here. Why don't you attack the damn rim? And he admitted we should have really done that. Take a listen.
Those moments when the other team got momentum, we can't just fire up threes. To break up momentum, you got to get to the free throw line, get to the paint, get to the basket, maybe get a easy 2, hit some free throws, and then maybe the next three-pointer feels a little bit better. I felt like we just settled in the second half a lot. But we'll look at it and we'll make adjustments.
Game 2, I'm going to go Celtics 109, Knicks 105. I think all these games will be competitive, but I think you'll see some shots fall. You're definitely going to see an aggressive Jaylen Brown, an aggressive Jason Tatum. I don't know what the hell's going on with Porzingis. I'm going to leave him out of this until I can figure it out. But I think Tatum and Brown will come out guns blazing game 2. Give me the Celtics 109-104. What do you see?
Yeah, I see Joe Mazzulla actually making adjustments in this game when this game does get tight later on in the game. Instead of waiting to see what the guys are going to do, he's going to try to take a little bit more control in the huddle in those timeouts and get them to do things a little bit differently. So I'm going to go Celtics 115.
Oh,
Knicks 108.
Oh, okay. All right, I like it. Want to hear all about Boston sports? Check out Nesson's Daily Sports Podcast. Boston has entered the chat. You, too, can enter the conversation by tweeting at us using the hashtag NessonChat or email the chat at Nesson.com. Boston has entered the chat is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, so I teased this at the top of the show today. We talked with you all, the fans, before game 1. So spirits were high, as you can imagine, literally and figuratively, like spirits, too, a little sipping, you know what I mean? So we talked to you guys really about this Knicks series predictions, big picture, where we weren't getting game 1 predictions. We wanted the big picture. Most people, Ante, did take 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
It was very rare, if ever, that we get a sweep as an answer. So we'll take a look at that. Also, we had a surprise guest pull up on us and look ahead. Look past the Knicks. We talked Eastern Conference Finals with a surprise guest. Take a look.
Let's go Celtics!
This is just precious. Tell me everything going on here.
Right now, it's my son's first game. He's 6 years old. His name is Prince, and he's excited about it, man.
That's too cool. I have a 6-year-old at home. Haven't been to a Celtics game yet. So good for you, Dad. Props to you. Are you excited for your first game?
Yeah.
We're excited to have you here. All right. So I'm going around. I'm getting predictions.
Yep.
I know you got the Celtics. How many games? What's the series going to look like? I need you to be an analyst for me now. Break it down for me.
Celtics in 5, man. We in 5, man. No disrespect to the Knicks. They up and coming, but they can't see us right now, man. They can't see us right now, you know?
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown defense and Holiday and Tatum taking off, you know, no one can see us right now, man, you know?
Yeah.
We're feeling ourselves.
You all know him by Mr. Celtics.
Yes.
You didn't see the hat, the jacket. Pritch, please.
Listen to me. I don't need you to introduce me to my nation. Nation, you know who I am. He don't need to introduce me. And I don't feel right of a total stranger trying to introduce me to the nation.
Hey,
Hey,
we're strangers, but we're family right now. Both bleeding green.
You sure?
Yes.
Show me something green apart from your money.
I'm wearing all black and yellow.
I don't believe.
Hey, Celtics in. What's the series prediction?
Listen, I'm not a man of prediction. All I'm saying is this. As long as we win our home games, we win the series.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the numbers in the because you could look on the internet and find numbers. You win your home games, you win the series. Simple.
A Knicks fan, a Celtics fan, they're hanging out together. I don't know why, but he's got the real New York on. Look at the Timbs.
It's Brick.
He's got the butters on.
It's
He's got
Brick.
the butters. All right, so look, before we start, I just need you to teach me some New York slang because it's brick out here right now.
My dad is
Fake fan.
brainwashed, bro.
Okay, so where you from?
I'm from Boston.
Oh, no, all right.
What are you doing?
We got to get
What
this
am I
man. All
doing?
right, so
With
look.
him.
Loving life. This
All
guy
right.
right here, I gotta respect it. Knicks, Jets. That's a life.
Oh.
Supporting those two teams
Should have just said the Mets and left it at that.
and the Mets.
Okay, all right, that's tough. We want. His team's already making him feel sad, so I won't make him feel worse. You think the Knicks are gonna win this series? Really? Be honest.
Of course.
He really does.
Why would I think they don't? Why would I be here?
Okay, so in how many games?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. What about
He's
you?
been saying Knicks in 6 all week.
That's the
Celtics
path, but
in.
who knows? You never
Give
know.
them 5. They're getting 1.
Knicks giving one. All right.
Knicks will get 1 game.
All right. Before I get your prediction of the series, talk to me. I like this jersey right here.
This is my birthday year, 86. I got my name on the back. I'm a big diehard Celtics fan. I got one of the rings right here.
Let's go bling bling.
I got the chain.
Bling bling.
I just love the Celtics, you know? It's Celtics everything with me, you know?
No doubt.
Absolute.
We see it. You live in that. All right. I need a prediction for this series. It's a sweep, going 5 games, 6, 7. What are we looking at?
Gentlemen sweep, 5.
Okay.
I'm going to give the Knicks a game.
Okay.
I will. I think the Knicks are good, you know? Everybody says, oh, yeah, sweep. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a gentleman's sweep in 5. I think the Knicks take a game in New York.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
with their fans over there, they'll try to take one.
Yeah.
But I feel confident. I think the Celtics should win the series in 5.
These dudes just told me they're both from Boston. I don't know what's up with these Knicks fans from Boston, but why are you a Knicks
Born in
fan?
New York. Born in New York. My dad was a Knicks fan.
What hospital?
Mount,
He's lying.
Mount Sinai.
Okay, I'll
Mount
just
Sinai.
play. All right, so look, I gotta ask you, do you really think the Knicks have a chance in this series?
Realistically, Knicks in 7. If the Celtics get some injuries, Drew Holiday's injured, that's our big chance.
Okay.
We can't get injuries.
Okay. What about you?
I think Celtics in 6.
6.
But I think we got them.
A little fight?
Yeah.
So since it's gonna be a little fight, who's your least favorite Knick and who's your least favorite Celtic?
Least favorite Celtics, Tatum by far.
Okay.
He's not a real superstar.
Why Tatum?
He's not a real superstar. Just don't like his game.
Okay. And then who's your least favorite Knick?
Bro, you don't like Hart. Hart's a bum.
Why Josh Hart? He's just a role player.
He can't do anything. He can't shoot. He's a bum.
He does everything.
Celtics in.
5.
5. Why 5? Why not 4?
I mean, the Knicks are completely healthy right now, so I'll give them like 1. Like it'll be like similar situation like the last round, but yeah, it's like they all healthy but we got squad. We swept them 4-0, but I think they're finna get 1, like in the playoffs.
I like it. All right, I want you to rank them. Who's the number 1 best player in the series?
JT been going off.
All right, number 2?
I'm gonna have to give it to Brunson. Respect.
Really? All right.
So that's
Number 3?
I'll take, but I'm gonna say JB.
Good choice. 4?
4. Cap been going crazy too.
All right. So.
I mean, it could happen. Could happen. I don't know.
All right. So then, look, I just gotta know who's your least favorite Celtic then? Say it.
Least?
Yeah. Who you hate the most? Say it. You've been talking. Why KP?
Bro, he's flourishing. He's flourishing.
He's good at basketball, for sure. I just don't like him.
He was too young when he was in New York. Too immature at that point.
No, we
wasn't
had
ready for that.
Phil Jackson as our GM. That's the problem.
All right, on a confidence scale of 1 to 10, how you feeling about a repeat championship? Banner 19, do you feel like they're going to get it done? Big picture. Forget the Knicks. We looking past the Knicks. Big picture, are they repeating?
Yes, sir. We're repeating. We are repeating.
So scale 1 to 10, you hit about like a 13?
Yeah, I'm at like a 40 right now, man.
Hey, congrats on your first game. Have fun in there, all right? Be loud. We got to hear you. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, bro. My man.
All right. I like it. Now I want to give you a little this or that, all right? What's a correct spelling? Jaylen or Jalen?
Jaylen.
My man.
Hey, check it out. I was a spelling bee champion in middle school, so you can't get me on that though.
Hey, one more. Orange or green?
Green. Look what I got on right now.
That's what it is.
Like that a trick question or what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Who's the number 1 best player in this series in your eyes? The best player.
In both series?
Oh yeah, no, both teams.
Both teams.
Celtics and Knicks. Who's the best player?
The best player is the player who makes the best.
Is it Tatum? Is it
No,
Brown?
I'm gonna get to that. The best player is the player who makes good decision. And that being said, Jalen and Jason.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yep.
But Jason Tatum is the man this year.
Yep.
Jalen had his moment.
Oh yeah.
But Jason is Jason time.
Keeps getting better.
And he's so talented and he's so good, you know what I mean? And like I said, the player who makes the best decisions for his team is the player, and I think Jason Tatum is the man.
What do you think? We know they won the ring.
Right.
You watch this team though,
Right.
as they're going for 19.
Right.
What makes them special to you?
I think it's unity.
Yep.
I think the coach. I think they believe in each other. And when you go in the locker room, you got to have that I believe. You know what I mean? You can't walk in there and be like, oh, well, I got to sit beside this asshole. He makes more money than me. No, when you walk in that locker room, Joe has that locker room. So that's what really matters. I think the unity says a lot about the atmosphere. And that atmosphere you carry into the game. That's so important.
Okay, so we're both looking past the Knicks because I agree with you. I'm going season 5.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the rest of the way. Are you feeling confident? You look at this next series, Pacers, Cavs. If you get to the finals, you have the Thunder. You have Steph still alive.
I get it, yeah. No, look, the way I look at it, the Celtics, they got the championship mentality. They won it last year. For them, the only way they're going to lose is health. If they're not healthy, they'll lose. The Celtics are the team to beat, I feel. They won it last year. They know what it takes. These other teams, I just don't think they have it, other than, Golden State. They've won it before, but I still think the Celtics can beat Golden State. They're just a deeper team.
Okay, so here's my hot take, because everyone calls me nuts. I feel like we might be the same wavelength, and we are nuts, which is, I think it's going to be Steph and the Warriors against the Celtics in the finals, but it will be revenge for the Celtics this time, because the last time we saw them, they lost.
I agree with him. I actually was feeling that. I think that Golden State and Boston in the finals is a good matchup. And I think that the Celtics are going to have that revenge in them, because the last time Golden State came in our arena celebrating, watching, I just think that Jason Tatum and the rest of the guys that are still here that saw that last one have that fuel like, oh yeah, Steph, you want to put us to sleep? Now JT's going to put Steph to sleep.
Yeah! You're going night-night, Steph. Knicks, you're first.
Celtics will win the championship in 6 games.
Yeah. All right, Ante.
Yeah.
We've heard from the fans.
Yeah.
Extra. Read all about it. Celtics fans think they're going to handle the Knicks no problem.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, if we're looking past the Knicks, about the next opponent. But before we get into it, because we know, I mean, listen, game 2 is tonight.
Yep.
So we'll see. Pacers-Cavs could be a long, interesting series. So we'll get into that. But I got to say, we've seen so many people out here.
Yeah.
It's such a fantastic atmosphere.
It is.
But nothing can prepare you for our next guest. George Balekji, ladies and gentlemen, in the house.
Okay. What's up, GB?
I'm excited for this energy.
Yes, sir.
New Jersey roots here. I mean, listen, you heard the fans say they think the Celtics are going to handle the Knicks no problem.
Yeah, I agree.
Before we get into Cavs, Pacers, do you agree with the fans? This is over 5 or 6 quick.
5 or 6, 4 or 5. That's what's Bro, they can't defend. They can't consistently score. They got no bench.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson's special. You're going to see Drew and Jaylen Brown just stay on his left hip, force him, go into his right every time, not get in front. And Cat's soft. Cat is way too – Tobias Harris is locking you down. You're about to play the best, deepest defensive team in the NBA. It's 4 or 5. I think sweep. Maybe just to be nice, close it out at home, it'll be 5.
Okay. All right. So regardless of the games here, consensus, Celtics handle their business.
Yep.
So let's look ahead now.
All right.
I mean, listen, Pacers-Cavs game 1 shocked me. I almost fell out of my chair because I thought for sure, and I predicted with you, I like the Cavs. It still could be a longer series, go 6 games, but I like the Cavs.
Right.
And then the Pacers win game 1 in Cleveland. I'll tell you, that felt like a statement game to me.
Yeah, it was a shock to a lot of people. That Cleveland crowd was dead at the end of that fourth quarter. I mean, Cleveland just kept making runs and runs and runs throughout that game. But guess what? Tyrese Halliburton and even Andrew Nembhard were there to stifle them every single time. It was definitely one of those gut punches. I also predicted Cavs in 6, but now it's even got me considering, like, I don't know, maybe the Pacers could walk away with this.
I mean, it shouldn't shock us. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year against the Celtics. I don't know why it's such a foreign concept to us to think the Pacers can win this series. But as it pertains to the Celtics, who's a better matchup? Like, I look at the Cavs, and I think those bigs are so athletic and so dynamic.
Yeah.
Nothing against Porzingis. Nothing against Al Horford.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Cavs have youth on their side. Those bigs are so athletic. I could just see it presenting problems. Whereas the Pacers, we did see this last year.
Right.
And the Celtics are just better, period. As it pertains to a bigger threat to the Celtics, is it the Cavs or the Pacers?
I'll go Cavs. Again, it's about depth. It's about ability to score. You have to have length, which they have, especially the DeAndre Hunter trade. And they got the guys that could carry it. Donovan Mitchell, obviously with Darius Garland too. I just picture the Pacers, and it's like Tyrese Halliburton and Andrew Nembhard, their run since the postseason began has been special. But I go back to Halliburton and what he did last year in that matchup with the Celtics. Sure. Mentally, he just can't match up with this Celtics team. They're just so good. I just think the Cavs, when it comes to the coaching, the veteran leadership on the floor, how good they've been. I'm not going to ignore 82 games from the Cavaliers.
You agree?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think the Cavs are the better matchup, against the Celtics. I don't think the Pacers match up with them well at all, just because I think their defensive prowess comes from their guards. Where the Celtics are a team that is so forward-led, you need your forwards to come in, even the guys off the bench, to really guard people. Tyrese Halliburton is going to be put in a lot of different actions. Yeah. They're going to try to get him switched on to Tatum and Brown and see what he can do. I don't think he can stop those dudes for a full series. You got guys even like Ben Mathurin, who's going to come off the bench, who has been playing better defense throughout the playoffs so far. But I still don't see him as an elite defender. I still don't think I see him as a guy who can challenge Tatum and Brown for a full series. And that's what playoff basketball is.
Sure.
Looking for your matchups and attacking it. And if those guys aren't willing to step up and play defense at a high level, then it's going to be a long series for the Pacers.
I wonder this, too. I'll come back to you on this one. Look, maybe this is the Cavs experiencing adversity. Because think about the regular season. I mean, you got to give them props here. They really went wire to wire. They came out hot. It was sustainable. I remember early in the season us having debates, is this sustainable from the Cavs? I thought it was. Turned out to be true.
Yeah.
But maybe now they're getting pressured a bit, tested a bit, and we'll see their resolve. We'll see how they deal with it. Could that be advantage Cavs in that way too? Like, in other words, will the Celtics, if they play the Cavaliers, are they playing a battle-tested team that just went through let's say it for the sake of this conversation, a 7-game hell with the Pacers. That may present a better Cavs team. Does that make sense?
No, it is. And again, that's like it's veteran leadership matters when you get into the playoffs with the NBA. No one's got it like the Celtics as far as like the recent success, of course, coming off the chip. But it's just like the vets that are in the rooms, the guys you can look to that need to make tough shots. Because you bring it up, it's all about the matchups, and it's all about law of averages over 7 games. It's also you need shot creators and makers, and the Cavaliers have that deeper.
Right.
So they come tested out of the Pacers. It's also the Pacers just a smaller team led by smaller guards. And if the shot's not falling or if they can't run teams off the floor, then that's the issue. The Cavs can win on both ends, inside and out. It's how much you get out of Jared Allen. Can he stay healthy as well and bang around? But yeah, coming to answer that, if they deal with some adversity against the Pacers, it'll make them tougher. But it's a Cavs team that had that 1 seed all regular season long. Like they locked it up from the jump, never relinquished it. But they still had their battles throughout the regular season. I go back, it's 82 game sample size. We saw them in matchups with the Celtics as well. And it's a team that went in and bought at the trade deadline, and it's been benefiting them. So I don't need them to like face adversity against the Pacers to believe in them. I just like the Cavs, and they match up well.
It could be added confidence, though, don't you think?
Yeah, adversity definitely helps. Just because, look, the Cavs are going to face against one of the best offensive teams in the league, playing the best offense right now in the league with the Pacers, and that's a good challenge that they need for a Celtics team that is, I've been saying, is looking to put on the barrage. We'll see what happens in this series against the Knicks.
Sure.
But I'm thinking this team is going to come in feeling really good about their offense going into that Eastern Conference Finals. If the Cavs are battle tested against the best team with the best coach offensively in the league, then they're going to come in knowing like, all right, we beat those dudes. We're going to feel good about how we can face off against the Celtics.
Before I ask one more question about the Pacers, I will say this about Donovan Mitchell. At least with Halliburton, he's young, so you have the built-in excuse he has time to have more playoff series in his career. Donovan Mitchell, the excuses are done. Like you're healthy, your team's healthy.
Yeah.
You're deep. This is the best you've ever been in position in playoffs in your career. You have to win now. Go ahead.
We have to see about Darius Garland. We can't say the team is healthy. He is a big part of what they do.
I think Donovan Mitchell's out of excuses.
Yes,
it's my point.
He's out of excuses. DG, they kind of play a little bit better.
They do.
Defensively, at least, without Darius Garland.
I think Donovan Mitchell's out of excuses.
You're right about that. I think Donovan Mitchell knows that this is his moment.
Yes.
He obviously lost game 1. I think game 2, we're going to see a big output out of him.
Because
we haven't gotten that moment yet from Donovan Mitchell because we haven't needed it.
The
Heat were terrible. He hasn't given us that 40-point barrage that he gives us every single point playoffs.
That's right.
It's time for him to step up. He knows his team lost game 1. It's going to be whether he's ready to take on that challenge or not.
All right, Pacers came up short against the Celtics last year. If it is the Pacers, because we're talking a lot of Cavs, if it is the Pacers, they win game 2 tonight, we're shocked, we're like they're in command of the series.
Yeah.
Can they learn from last year's experience against the Celtics in a loss and be better and be a tougher out?
No, I mean, for sure. They got to learn from that. It's the same Celtics team running it back, too. But it's still, this is a team that goes 9 deep when you're talking Boston. It's like you have the lessons, but I think what stood out to me about the Celtics, and you see it especially in the first round series, their adaptability. I love this being on calls.
I mean, we're just on TV, no big deal.
But it's the adaptability they had where literally in the first round, the three-point line was taken away in three-point shot
good point.
from the Celtics, and they go, all right, we'll go inside. We're going to put Kristaps Porzingis in action early. We're going to go pick and pop, pick and roll, whatever, and Jason Tatum is going to initiate everything. He hasn't been figured out yet in this postseason, and we'll see. It's just you can learn from it, but the players are getting better, and Tatum's taking on a bigger role. So they learn from it, but
it doesn't matter because they're not good enough.
It's who are your guys, who are your dudes this time of year, and I will bet on the dudes in green more than I'll bet on them in the blue and yellow.
So you agree, even if the Pacers pull this off and say they knock off the Cavs, it really doesn't change what happened to them last year, or do you think they'd be a more dangerous team this time?
No, I think they would be more dangerous this time, and it's really effect to who the Celtics played going into that series, right? They played a Cavs team that lost Donovan Mitchell last year, so their guards were rested. Drew Holiday was rested, ready for that matchup with Tyrese Halliburton, went right at him, and that was the biggest difference in the series. One, yes, Halliburton is a year older, a year more responsible with the ball, a year more wise. But at the same time, Drew Holiday's going to have his hands in a bunch when he has to deal with Jalen Brunson all series.
Right.
So he's also coming off injury.
Right.
So if he's not healthy and 100% and all energized going into that next series against the Pacers, they will have a better shot to beat the Celtics.
One thing's for sure. We're all saying the quest to Banner 19 may not be easy. But I think we learned here it could be. It could be.
Yeah.
Always fun talking to the fans. The NFL draft is in the books, but that doesn't mean the offseason's over for the Patriots. For the latest updates on New England football, check out Foxborough Rush, available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, and wherever else you get all your podcast needs. All right, Tay, game one tonight, T-Wolves, Warriors. Let's break this thing down. I've already told you I am taking the Warriors to make it to the finals, to lose to the Celtics. So you can imagine who I like in this series. Now, game one, I would not be shocked at all if the Timberwolves take it. They're at home. Anthony Edwards has some momentum right now.
Yeah.
But much like the Knicks-Celtics series, my friend, even if Ant Edwards pulls this off tonight, drops 40-something, outshines Steph.
Yeah.
I could see Ant doing something petty, like the night to Steph, right? I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment and say, uh-oh, is it Anthony Edwards' time? No. I love Anthony Edwards. He will have his time. But I think he had a better team last year. I don't believe in this team. I'm taking Steph here in this series, although I will concede and would not be shocked if the Timberwolves win game one. Where are you with this series?
You know, Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call him, is
Killer.
a killer, but he is also what I like to call a petty king.
Facts.
And he remembers when he was doing his draft workouts, and Steve Kerr was like, "This is all you got, kid? This is it?"
He does talk about that.
And he talks about that all the time and how that changed his mentality about the player that he needed to be to become in the NBA.
He said he was tired. He owned it.
He admitted it. He owned it. But this is what it is.
Yeah.
He has an opportunity to send this old man home. He's
What
the
are we
boogeyman.
doing? Are you doing this?
Hold on. He's the boogeyman. He's taking out KD. He's taking out Jokic. He's taking out LeBron. He's taking out Luka. Who else is left on the hit list? Wardell, Stephen, Curry. And you know what? Ant is going to be the best player in this series. No question about that. Sorry, Wardell, Stephen Curry. I know you got fans in the comments saying you're better than LeBron James, but that's history. This is today. Today, Anthony Edwards will be the best player in this series. You can book it.
Okay, today.
Wolves
Okay.
in 6.
Oh!
Wolves in 6.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Let's get a little wager.
Okay.
I like the Warriors. It could be 6 or 7. I don't really care. But I like the Warriors in this. I feel pretty strong here. What can we bet, dog? Now, we are down at TD Garden a lot.
Yes.
And we both anticipate we're going to be there a lot longer.
Yeah.
For all these home games. I feel like we need a Celtics payoff as the bet. Like something Celtic related.
Tell me. You tell me. I know what I want, though.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. Timberwolves win.
I want this on top of whatever you're going to add.
What do you mean?
I want, because I'm an athlete, so it always goes back to athletics for me instead of betting like you.
All right.
I need 25 push-ups, dog.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
I just need 25
push-ups.
You're talking about on camera, aren't you?
On camera.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of knew this wasn't a fitness challenge because I could knock that out.
25
on camera.
On camera.
Ante was right kind of deal.
Yep.
All right. I think that's fair.
25.
All right.
In the content center. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I'm a bet kind of dude.
You talk to me.
Because my
add
mind,
it on top. That's why I just said 25
thing I
to
go
start.
to is fitness.
25 on top. That's it. What's up? Talk to me.
All right. When we eat it at the media, the lounge, at the Celtics,
yes,
you take care of my plate.
Okay, that's
deal.
Fine. Deal.
Shake on it on camera.
Yeah. So we're taking care of.
We're just
plates.
betting straight up.
No. Together. So whoever loses has to take care of the other person's plate and do 25 push-ups on camera.
I don't need 25.
You don't even need the
Warriors win. I'll take the food. I don't care about that.
Bet.
I don't care
want
about
both. I'm greedy.
You want both.
I'm greedy.
All right, shake on it.
We're shaking. I gotta do like the left.
Can I now say how before we move on?
Yes.
I'm glad we made this wager. I'm glad we disagree.
Yes.
You were disrespectful to Steph. First of all,
I'm not disrespecting
yes, you
Steph.
Are. First of all, you saying, there's people in the comments saying Steph's better than LeBron. I mean, that's old. They're both old. That's old news. Bruh, Bron's old.
Okay.
Steph, he's at the end.
Yeah.
He's at the end.
Yeah.
But he's still in his prime. This is the back end of his prime. This is it right here.
Hey.
Now, much like Ant, I don't think Steph's team can really. I don't believe. I like Jimmy. Draymond. This is Steph's team.
This ain't
is
the
all
Rockets.
Steph.
This ain't the Rockets, dog. I'm sorry. We're gonna talk about them in a second, but this ain't the Rockets. All right.
Okay.
This ain't the Rockets.
All right. 25. I'm writing this down. 25 push-ups. It's on tape. 25 push-ups and plates on the loser at the media lounge for the Celtics.
Yep. All right. How many games do you think the Warriors winning in?
I mean, I don't know. It makes it almost. This feels destined for 7 to me.
Okay.
It really does.
Warriors in 7.
And I'm not gonna lie. You get to a game 7 against this kid
in Minnesota
on his floor
in Target.
But I'm gonna need to see it. I'm going to need to see. Everyone's making these Jordan comparisons. He reminds them of them, and he's got this Kobe killer mentality. Okay, well, that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
In an elimination game, in Steph's building or in yours in a game 7, can you deliver? I need to see it before I won't bet against him again. Does that make sense?
Fair.
He does it. He slays yet another giant.
Yeah.
All right, hats off. But I am on this Steph. I think we're missing this. I think we're talking about all these other young players. I think this could be a Steph playoff run. This could be a Steph legacy of like, yeah, I'm older, but I ain't old yet. Watch me will yet another team to the finals, and then I think they'll lose to the Celtics.
Well, we gonna find out. That's for sure.
He definitely damn sure took out my Rockets. What's next for them? What's next for them? I mean, the Rockets tweet out, thanks for riding with us this season, H-Town. You guys should have had a much longer run in the playoffs, but you ran into Steph Curry. That's what happened. And I told you that from the beginning. This team could make the finals. They're talented enough. They're well coached enough. I like the style in which they play. But they got to run into these behemoths later in the playoffs so they can get a little confidence. First round, they got Steph. They got their arse beat.
Oh, man. I love you making all the excuses, dog. I love it, man. Because at the trade deadline, I got the papers out. And I told you, and Rockets fans got mad at me. Oh, he's a hater. He's saying they're going to get bounced in the first round.
Why are you using that voice?
He's a hater.
Why you laughing? You being disrespectful, yo. You disrespecting Steph. You're disrespecting Rockets fans.
Look,
Get
bro.
yourself together, man.
All right, man. Look, I just got to ask, all right? So, since they didn't want to go get one at the deadline and help their team, a 2-seed, by the way, 2-seed, get bounced in the first round.
We know.
Who should they get? Who should be their main target this
Kevin
offseason?
Durant.
Oh, man.
Kevin Durant.
So how would that look? Who would you get rid of to get KD from their team?
I mean,
honest.
that's fair.
Talk to me.
I'm so protective of the young core that they have that I'm not willing to give up a ton, which is why
he won't.
Hold on, stay with me for a second. I want to talk this out because that's a great question. I'd rather Kevin Durant than Giannis.
Okay.
Which on paper sounds stupid. Like, what do you mean? Giannis is Giannis, right?
And he's older.
But
and whatever.
But to get Giannis, you would have to give up a pound of flesh.
Oh yeah, you're giving up like an Amen, Thompson or Thomas, whatever. Thompson.
I think for Durant right now, you could give up role players, maybe a starter.
Yeah.
Maybe you got to give up one of these guys, but not a key piece. And I would give away the draft. I would mortgage my future as a Rockets long term for short-term success in Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I would give the Suns draft picks out the yin-yang. I would. And maybe like a serviceable starter. Maybe a bench guy.
Yeah.
Fine. I think that's doable. For Giannis, that ain't going to cut it. Does that make sense?
No, it's definitely not going to cut it. The thing about their team is like they got to get off of Fred VanVleet. I think like if they're going to go get a Kevin Durant, they need a guy like him to come in. You got to lean into the Reed Shepherd. I think Reed
like
Shepherd's
VanVleet, though.
better. I hear you. I
like him.
I hear you. But at the same time, that money, dog, he's going to be making $45 million next year.
Yeah.
Like that's the contract that you got to kind of see go. You
and
know
by the
what
way,
I mean?
he had a great season and he still didn't win.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, he's a small guard. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player.
I like him a lot.
But he's a small guard.
Yeah.
Guards don't win championships in the NBA, you know, in this era. Sorry. Like, they can help you.
No, it's true.
But you need a top wing. And Kevin Durant gives you an opportunity to do so.
He's the only starter I'm willing to have the conversation about, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then it's going to have to be unfortunately, it's probably going to have to be like a man to even get the conversation going.
For Durant?
They need something that helps them in the future. The Suns, they're not going to just trade for a guy that's, serviceable. They're not going to be like, yeah, we'll take a Tari Eason. You know what I'm saying? Like, to start the conversation, you need a young piece that really moves the needle. It might even be a Reed Shepherd, but I don't even know if he showed enough this year. They didn't give him an opportunity. Yeah,
that's their fault.
They didn't give him an opportunity. So,
I just think
Jalen Green, I don't know if they want that. They have Book.
I think they just need scoring.
Yes.
But you need the right scorer. You just can't go get a guy that can fill it up. That's why I think a Kevin Durant would work, because his temperament is right.
Right.
He would come in there. He would fit in with the culture. He doesn't play defense like he used to, but I think he still plays enough defense. He could make that work. He's respected. Guys look up to him. He's a veteran. Mm-hmm. He knows how to win. He's not the demonstrative leader, but I don't know if that team needs that. I just think Durant makes so much sense. And I think he'd have fun there. Kevin Durant's miserable in Phoenix. I think going to Houston with those young, upstart, hungry guys, a coach he likes, I imagine,
Ime, of course.
I just think he'd have fun.
One of his good friends.
He'd find his joy again.
Right. One of his good friends, James Harden, played there. He'll tell him about all the great spots.
Right.
You know what I'm
right. Maybe not. Maybe it's not a good idea.
I didn't mean it like that.
Maybe it's not a good idea.
This is a family program. I meant restaurants, dog.
Hey, James, where should I go?
Where to live, all right, man? He's going to tell him to go live out in Cyprus or whatever.
Well, actually, we should talk about James, too. We'll do that in 30 seconds.
Okay.
From Simone Biles to Caitlin Clark to all the top stories in sports, we've got you covered on Nesson's Women in Sports podcast, Respect Her Game. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcast. All right, you brought up his name. What's next for the Clippers as they get eliminated? And guess what? Stop me when you've heard this before. James Harden didn't show up in a big spot. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. Actually, I can't believe that he's lost Game 7 for like every team that he's played for.
God.
It's insane. And the funny thing is, going into this game, Tyronn Lue had never lost a Game 7.
Never lost.
But, James Harden's aura just made sure that he got it done. No, I mean, this is one of those situations where it's sad. I hate to say that I was right in this situation just because Kawhi Leonard finally got healthy and made a playoff run with the Clippers, and he was ready to go. He looked good. He played well in pretty much every game of that series. And you have a star who, when he's a playoff riser, he gets the opportunity to play, he is all world. He gets in those conversations like, how good is Kawhi Leonard really when he's playing playoff basketball, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I said it going into Intuit Dome, and I was right. I mean, you can say, we had a successful year. We were the 5th seed, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I didn't have them that high, but I said, hey, man, it's Los Angeles. You have to win championships. You have to be able to progress past the first round, which they haven't been able to do in the last 4 seasons.
Right.
They didn't make the playoffs 4 seasons ago, and then 3 straight years of getting bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
So blow it up. Yeah. It's been blow it up. Yeah. I said that a long time ago. James Harden and Kawhi Leonard cannot get it done together.
I agree.
Blow it up. It's that simple.
I'm proud of you, man. I thought for sure, much like the Rockets for me, you were going to make some excuses here. And you're not. And you are very, because you said from the beginning, though, this is a very dangerous team if they can figure it out.
Yes.
And one thing that you said just now that I couldn't agree with more is that Kawhi and James Harden are not the combo to win you a championship. Mm-hmm. In fact, after the game, Ty Lue talked about how if I can get these guys healthy for a full regular season, we could clear up some things, our chemistry will be right, and then we can go into the playoffs with the right momentum. Mm-hmm. And I just kept thinking to myself, is this a definition of its insanity where you do the same thing over and over expecting a different result? Because in my mind, and if I'm thinking about like this, there's no way Clippers fans aren't thinking like this of who in the hell thinks they can have Kawhi and James Harden healthy for a full regular season?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on James Harden. If anything, kudos to James Harden. If I'm LeBron James, that's exactly the kind of person I want. Yeah. Because during the regular season, bro is all world.
Yeah.
Great.
Man.
Give me the night off. I can rest. If I have a bum ankle or my knee hurts a little, James got us tonight.
Yeah.
But when you get to the postseason, you better know he will not show up, and you must. And that's just, it's not even a debate at this. It's happened so many times with James Harden. What are we even talking about?
Yeah.
He disappears in the playoffs. So I'm not shocked by that. Kawhi did play really well in these playoffs, no doubt. But you can't count on him to stay healthy during the regular season where you need him to.
Fair.
He can't just
100%.
show up to the playoffs.
Fair.
This doesn't work. Blow it up. I couldn't agree with you more. I will say this. I think if we're right, and they kind of start from scratch here, they're in good hands. I think you keep Ty Lue. And I actually really like their owner.
Yeah.
Is it Steve Ballmer?
Ballmer, yeah.
I like him. And he's willing to spend money. He's involved. He kind of reminds me. I get Mark Cuban
vibes,
energy before like Shark Tank and the world changed for him and he became too big. He really reminds me a lot of Mark Cuban in a good way. So I think the Clippers will be fine. You're in LA. You have money. You know, I don't know what you do. Who do you go get? I don't know what the free agent class is looking up.
That's a question, though, that I have to ask. I
How do
won't
you
ask
rebuild?
free agents or anything like that, but should James Harden accept his player option and come back? He has $36 million on the table next season. I just want to know that.
I think he will.
Yes.
But I wouldn't. I would probably be looking to
Not
move
even
him.
if you're the Clippers. If you're James.
If you're James,
do you think
you
that's
better.
your best opportunity to win a championship?
He doesn't care about championship. He cares about money and nightlife.
If he cared about money, he could get more than 36.
Well, then, yeah, maybe he'll opt out. But I tell you what he doesn't care about is championships. And I have an entire, like, how much more do we need?
Yeah.
I have a whole movie. I have a trilogy at this point of James Harden disappearing in the playoffs. He doesn't care about a championship.
No,
kidding me?
Come on, I think he wants to win one.
Yeah, maybe. But you know what he ain't doing? The work to get one. How about the Pistons? They got bounced too. You and I both like them. You liked them this season more than I did.
Yeah.
I've been kind of waiting on Cade Cunningham forever, so I was off of them. You know, I mean, look, they tweeted this. You know, we celebrated these big milestones.
Right.
Good for us. Good season. I actually even think in that tweet, it showed more like they actually believe the stuff they're saying. Some of these teams, like the Clippers, say, hey, thanks for a great season. Bye. Like, it's like you knew.
Yes.
You were waiting. You had your trip booked in the cart on Expedia. You were just waiting to press purchase. And, you know, the Pistons, on the other hand, were like, hey, we really have come a long way.
Yeah.
I think they have a bright future. I think the Pistons are going to be just fine. Their biggest issue is going to be figuring out how to bottle whatever they did to keep Cade Cunningham healthy for a full season.
Yeah.
They got to bottle that, put a cap on it, seal that B, and then use it again next season and beyond.
Yeah.
If they do that, they're going to be just fine. If Cade goes back to getting hurt again every 5 minutes, they are screwed.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely right. But they also need to take that same serum, open it up a little bit, and give it to 23 Jaden Ivey. They gotta, they gotta get him to have a healthy season too. Because I would have loved to see those two in a playoff series against the Knicks together. Then Cade would have actually had someone. Now Tobias was good, but somebody else to handle the duties of taking care of the ball and doing some of those things. So it wasn't all on Cade's shoulders at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that's what I would like them to see from them. But I also would love to see them. They have to keep Malik Beasley this offseason.
I like him. I think they will, don't you?
Yes, they have to
I think they
keep Dennis Schroeder as well. Dennis Schroeder had a great playoff series for them.
Crazy, he's like a veteran leader.
I know. It's weird.
Isn't that weird?
It's weird to think about. But, he's one of those things. He's 31 now, so, we always think of him as a young guy. But
he's a veteran
31.
leader.
And they just got to find another way to get another, score, just a score. You know, just another guy who can come in and just get baskets. You know what I mean? They don't worry about much else. I think that's the one thing that they're missing. They have the shooters, they have the defense, they have the vets. I'm not saying that they're going to be a contender, but they're building toward it and teaching their vets are teaching their young guys winning qualities. And that's all you pretty much need as far as the Pistons go. Maybe they can hit on a draft pick in that early, you know what I mean, after the lottery, section of the draft.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they're on the right track.
I think so too. Listen, I'm impressed with the Eastern Conference as a whole, to be honest. Like, I throw the Piston in a grouping of a lot of teams. I think the Pistons are young. upstart team like we've talked about here.
Yeah.
I think the Magic, we talked about them too. We just saw them last round.
Right.
Same thing, although the Pistons feel maybe a little further along. But the Magic are right there. The Pacers are still a young team, even though we're used to seeing them in these big spots. But they're a young team technically.
Yeah.
And then you know, obviously you throw in veteran teams. I look at the Cavs as a veteran team. I look at the Knicks as a ton of veterans there. The East is in really good shape. I'm leaving the Bucks out of this because of my hot take that Giannis is going to force his way out.
Right, fair.
But the East is pretty damn tough. Something to think about from last night's action, though, Ante. Thunder, Celtics, and Cavs, all the best teams all year round in the regular season, all lost game ones in their series. And gambling-wise, you know, it always goes back to gambling. I wish I had bet all those game ones for the Dogs because I probably would have called out today.
Yeah, okay.
I'd be celebrating.
Yeah, if you would have had the dumb decision to make a parlay on that, then, you know, you would have been really happy, and I'd have been calling you asking for a couple dollars. Just a couple.
Our bet on that Warriors series may look a little different, and I hit that bet, my friend, believe me. All right, for Travis Thomas and the walking, talking triple-double himself, Ante Campbell, that's a wrap for us here on Hold My Banner. But come see us. Game 2, TD Garden. We'll be there, baby, chasing Banner 19. Until then, peace.
Deuces.